I am your host, Christene Marie, co-founder of Foundation First Marketing, and also leader in our family business, 100 years old in the painting industry. Y'all, I will say right out of the gate, I am definitely under the weather, so bear with me as we move through these next 10 to 15 minutes. That's my promise to you, that these conversations will be under 15 minutes. I've gone a little bit over the last few days, so I'm going to keep my eye on the clock to make sure that we don't go over. Y'all, I want these conversations to be so practical, so easy to implement, whether that's you implementing or you passing along to your marketing team, even passing along to your sales team, business development managers. Y'all, there's conversations that take place here on this channel that aren't just, yes, I come from a marketing perspective, but I also come from a partner perspective. My family has this business for over 100 years, and my brother and I joined as partners in 2021. I also come from the customer perspective because I've used a number of home services. In fact, we completely renovated, and I say completely renovated, we knocked down the front wall of our home and bumped it out 2 feet, knocked down 2 walls, and had to get an engineer to come in to put in a pillar and beam to support the infrastructure of the home. And so I've done a lot of work, both, yes, from the marketing side, serving as CMO, from the partner side, but also from the consumer side. So I'm speaking from those 3 lenses, from those 3 perspectives tonight. And we're going to be talking about how to diversify your revenue streams. Because when I got involved in the family business, one of the things that we realized was that our revenue was tied nearly 60% to one particular client. Now, granted, they had been our bread and butter for 35 years in so many ways, and so they'd been a lifelong client. However, what we realized was that there was a lot of potential in terms of risk, given anything goes wrong. 60% of our revenue is tied up in that regard. And so what I want to talk about is that desire and that need to diversify revenue streams. And what that does is that is a safeguard for your business, but it also allows for us to be moving in a direction for scale or preparing the business for sale. Even just earlier today, talked with a woman about how she's really looking to build her business for the sake of keeping it rather than for the sake of selling it. And so whether you're trying to scale it, sell it, or you're looking to build a generational business, there's some core tenets to that. And we're going to talk about diversifying the revenue streams tonight, first and foremost. And then we're going to dive deeper into some other tactics we can be operating and implementing tomorrow at the top of the funnel. And the top of the funnel is effectively before the customer even comes to you, before they even click on your website. How can we be really resonating with them? And so tonight we're particularly going to be talking about one of my favorite ways to diversify revenue streams, which is to stop operating like a business to consumer business. And what I mean by that is it is so easy to have our eyes narrowed in. We are B2C. This is who we serve. We service homeowners, or we service, a lot of times it is homeowners that we kind of get pigeonholed on. But on the other hand, if you actually are solely B2B and you've got your eyes set, this is who we serve, I want us to consider, how can we broaden that scope? How can we broaden that service market? And the reason why this is so important is because over the last couple of years, I've seen this done really, really well by multiple different businesses. One in particular, actually my family business, we have a painting service in the DC and kind of mid-Washington area, but one of our biggest clients has actually been a general contractor. And so my dad diversified this revenue stream years ago brilliantly. And so he serves customers and businesses. And he served as a subcontractor for a general contractor in our area and has continued to build out additional relationships with other GCs. But he also goes and services customers. So he goes direct to B2C, but he also has these B2B revenue streams. So there's so much benefit when we start working in both regards. There's a lot of responsibility when we're going direct to the customer. they're looking to us to kind of be the end all be all. Whereas when we're working as a sub, we're kind of coming in under the GC. We're protected. We can rest assured under their insurances, their licensorships, and we're just in and out and we're done. We don't have to deal with the owner. We don't have to deal with the project lead. We don't have to deal with the end customer. There's a lot of ease when we start going in that direction. And to that point, not just diversifying our customer base in terms of, oh, maybe we could actually service B2B, but how can we start thinking of B2B as a potential revenue stream? So an example of this, I also have the craft and calling community. It's very, very early. My vision for that is that it will be a community serving tradespeople where we have real conversations about how are we doing, how's the business doing, how can we grow together, but also how do we make sure that we're doing well ourselves so that when we show up with our family, we're not showing up depleted. So that's the craft and calling. I hosted a lunch with the craft and calling along with my dad. And we invited leaders in the trades, but we also invited people that could potentially be partners with us. And frankly, I had no idea where it would go, the direction and what would be the outcome of this. I just wanted to have a wonderful, meaningful conversation around a table. And what ended up happening is that Hoffman Painting, my family business, got together with a restoration company. We did a lunch and learn. Well, really, it was coffee and breakfast. And we came into, it was about 40 different PMs. And we talked to them first thing in the morning on a Thursday shortly after this lunch. And now we have a foot in the door where it's still B2C work, but it's kind of like working under a GC. And this is the benefit of when we think, oh, another business could not just be a referral partner, but we could actually partner along with them and work alongside them in the restoration of this home. And so to that point, it's like if we were to kind of map out and visualize, here's you as the company going direct to customer is one vein, going direct to a GC and serving as a sub is another, using the GC as a referral, or even just using B2B as a referral source as well. So let's talk about that one. So going direct to customer, that's pretty self-explanatory. Going direct to a GC and subbing for them, whether it's a homeowner or a business, that's what we just talked about, going in and talking to this restoration company. And then the other partners that my dad has with GCs that we serve, they actually service Chick-fil-A's and Starbucks. So it's very business to business. So we partner with different GCs. We'll work with homeowners and we'll work with businesses. So those are two revenue streams: direct to customer, homeowner, direct to GC. Now the third one, using B2B as a referral source. Y'all, this is huge. I've seen this done really well. His name, Michael, I can't remember his last name. He's known as the ninja, crawl space ninja. Hilarious guy. I was working with him when I was CMO of another company. And what he was doing so brilliantly, and I knew it was possible, and it was so fun to see it actually done well. He had a referral program set up so brilliantly where he would go to a plumber and talk with the whole plumbing team. He would go to HVAC, talk to the whole HVAC team, and do kind of that lunch and learn experience. He'd bring in lunch, talk to them about Crawl Space Ninja, answer questions, and then said, hey, we'll actually give you guys $50 for every referral. And then, you know what? If it closes, we're going to give you an additional $250. So these people stand to gain $300 easy just by saying, hey, Joe, you should call Crawl Space Ninja. That's awesome. That's easy money for them. And of course, they're going to be referring people to you. And so by way of thinking beyond just, oh, we service the homeowner, guys, there's so many different revenue streams. When we think about diversifying that, who are GCs that you could potentially sub with? And GCs both for homeowners direct and also GCs for businesses direct. I would assume that your business, regardless of the industry you're currently serving, could diversify into one or more of those categories. And then obviously the referral side of things. Go into businesses, bring them lunch, bring them coffee, ask for time to talk to their whole team, and offer a referral program. People want to do business with people. And so the more we are willing to get out of our shell and go and talk to them and just be like, hey, I'd love to work with you and be a referral partner. And I'd love to make you money as well. People are so open to that. It just takes a little bit of courage on our end to do the cold call, to ask for the lunch, and how we can make those contacts to begin with. Intentionally look out for networking opportunities. Y'all, we need to think more and more like business development. Yes, sales is so important. We need to learn how to convert customers, but the more you can get your salesmen to think like business development managers, the more your business is going to expand. People who are willing to be proactive, to go after these referral partners, to go to these networking events, they're going to start experiencing so much more success than just taking the appointment from the call center and then going to the person's home to try to sell them. So think about that. How can you start incorporating more relationship-driven revenue streams in your business? So with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump off. Thank you so much for joining. Brian, so good to see you, my friend. Thank you. He says, get well soon. Thank you. I could use that. Y'all have a wonderful night, and I will see you tomorrow as we dive deeper into our daily discussion for the trades.